Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Tone, address our people, please.
Address our people. Oh, yes, I will. Hi, our little Mehhhh, you little Mehhhh! Sorry, they're back.
Oh, I swear to
Oh,
God, that's never going to get old.
it's never gonna get old. Wait till I do. If we ever do a live show, I'm slightly
Oh,
concerned for my vocals. I'll literally be there in the back, just going with you know what singers do, like
I'll be slightly concerned for my life if we ever go live.
well. Do you mean live on the internet or do you mean live in person? Because
Both, for the love of
both of
God, both.
the the first one is a bit daring, but the second one is a whole lot scarier for the people involved at home.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what they
Exactly.
do.
Fucking hell. So anyway, guys, this is our 5th episode. But before we go any further, we have to say, Happy Pride,
Happy
bitches!
Pride! Mm.
Yes, even though it doesn't feel like it, it's actually Pride Week.
Oh God, is it?
Where's the parade? Where's Victoria? Where's Davina? Where's the fucking George float? I don't see it anywhere.
Be hard pressed to find it down here.
Yes, because nothing's down south. West.
Everything is down south, east.
Oh, for fuck's sake, not this day. Anyway,
It's
before we
never
even
gonna
go
end.
on to anything, I need to point out right now that we did a Instagram poll, finally deciphering whether Limerick is in the south or the southwest of Ireland. And thank you to all of those who voted for southwest, because bitch, I fucking win.
I never said it was south. I said it was west. You people are getting so confused about one thing.
And what's that?
That it's the west of the country. Like, I live in West Tipperary when I was growing up. I live in West
Don't
Limerick at the
do
minute.
this.
Don't do what? I'm just stating
There's 4
facts.
episodes to go back on.
4
People can watch
episodes.
past episodes.
Oh, honey, times change. And so does geography, apparently. But
This podcast is making me delusional, lads.
I might jinx mum soon. I'm slightly
That's
concerned for my
delusion.
health. Oh well, guess I'm doused in it. But yeah. So this is of course, our solo episode as ever. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about a few things. Obviously, mentioning Pride, mentioning this week's last episode of Oz, and of course, mentioning, because Jack has been playing it nonstop since it released, The Last of Us 2, but more specifically, Nova no. No. Jack, no. We're gonna be talking about LGBT representation in video games.
Jack's
Jack's not
excited
being
for
a
that
goody.
one.
Just wait, guys. I've got something to show. Ellie in Last of Us. See,
Oh,
it
I
has
love
a
it.
reaction. It has a reaction. He
Ellie
even
has
did a
been
cover.
the.
He even did a cover. He even did a cover, guys. You follow his Instagram. Honey, he did it better than Gigi could.
Look, we'll get into that anyway. We'll get into all the Last of Us, all the everything
Why
later
he's better
on.
than Gigi could.
Sweet baby Jesus. Oh
Just
my
when I meet
God.
Gigi, I'm like, hey, my friend Jack's meeting you next. He did a cover take on me. It was better than you. At least he won something. No.
You
Playful
shady
shade.
cunt.
Of course I'm shady. What else? I'm eating Tic
Mm.
Tacs at the minute. Tic Tac dinner.
He purely just bought a thing of Tic Tacs just to say that on the podcast. He's going to throw them out right after.
They're yummy and chalky.
Yes. Yeah, so that's our running order for today. We'll be getting into episode 3 of All Stars 5. We'll be getting into LGBTQ plus representation in the video game industries, as well as our usual
Mhm.
song of the week.
Yes. And Jack, this one won't come shocking to anyone in
Don't
the
spoil
entirety
it!
of it.
We'll wait until we get to that section and then we talk about it, okay?
Oh God, it's like the biology book. I want to look at photosynthesis. I'm bored of looking at reproduction. Come on.
I'm surprised at that sentence.
So is many other people, but let's not talk about it.
Mhm.
So
So,
of course, of course, this week we had last week we had episode 3 of All Stars 5. I was about to say All Stars 3. So in this episode, of course, they had to do a hotel design. They had to do an interior design kind of challenge. I feel like we're turning this slowly into Project Runway meets America's Next Top Model, but let's not talk about it. Along with The Block. If you haven't watched The Block, they designed a different room of every house. This year in Australia, they had to design a firehouse.
Jesus
Yes, if Jack
Christ.
lived there, he'd be flaming because he's a bottom.
First drink of the night.
Woo! So many hoses, so little time.
Bitch, please.
So of course they had to do a hotel design challenge. Last year we had, of course, the infamous club challenge, aka
Club 96.
or when you're at midnight it goes Club 69.
Sweet baby
So
Jesus.
of course we had the Golden Girls, we had Glamazone, and then we had, was it actually, what was the last one titled again? Was it better than Club 96? That's what I
No.
was thinking.
The Golden Girls, you have the Glamazones, and the whatever fucking Blair Mayhem named the really gold 24 carat something or other,
Literally, I
I
just
think.
called it Club 96 Light.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, I was pleasantly surprised with this week's episode. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the club makeover challenge last season, so I thought this was going to be
Mm.
even worse. But I mean, it actually turned out all right. I mean, I liked it, but
Yeah, like there were some points which were good and some points were bad. Obviously, last week we had lost Angina, where
Mhm.
she Ben de la Creme herself. Um,
In episode
that's
2,
episode 2. That just sounds really bad. She Ben de la Creme herself, and you're there going, Tone. that that's what the noise Jack will be making in our mukbang episode when he's eating fire noodles. Be prepared for that coming soon when transport is fully back to normal.
exactly. So next week.
Um, not next week. Jesus, we have a special guest for next week. Another one which will rip the shreds out of both of us. But we've lost all hope. Let's just say that for the time being. So back to the episode. Of course, we lost Angina. This is a hotel challenge. And of course, let's talk about the first group. We, of course, are talking about the Golden Gals. Of course, we had Cracker, Shay, and Mariah Paris Balenciaga.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they're okay. Obviously, weren't the best.
Hmm.
I mean, they didn't really capture the Golden Girls essence in my mind, but that's just me.
Like, I do
But I
feel they
mean,
didn't capture it. Mariah didn't make a good Blanche. Like, Blanche is like, how do I describe Blanche? Oh, okay.
an icon.
We're gonna do improv for a second. Jack doesn't know I was
Oh,
planning this. He's dreading it.
oh
Okay, we're
God.
gonna do a Golden Girl situation. So, which one do you want to be? Rose,
Mm,
Dorothy, or Sophia?
I don't think I want to be any of them because I wouldn't do any of them justice.
You would do Rose and Rose and Dorothy justice. I would do Blanche and Sophia. Remember, Sicily, 1659. I swear to God. I swear to God. 1659. I was there at on baby night. Swear to God, Jack did a number. I turned around. I fell over and I walked away. Couldn't stand it. Bye. He was doing, of course, a cover of DWV's I'm a Bottom. Or He's a Bottom. Let's not talk about him. And then I went home and I ate some ravioli. That made no sense at all. That's terrible, Sophia. Or just do a Blanche, which is like Blanche is really she could have just umped it up a little, going, these Tic Tacs remind me of the time I was with Burt Reynolds, and he too was popping pills, but it was for something else. The desire was far too strong. Whew. Where's my electric blanket? Ricker and Graceless. But yeah, they could have done a bit more on those literal representation. I did love Cracker was good at a kind of a Rose kind of thing, but Shay kind of her Dorothy was a bit more. She could have been a bit more snarky, a bit more like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ladies take pointers from tone. I mean, you could have been better, but obviously not.
But at the time, you've got to remember as well, like the competition can get into your head. But like, I feel like they just weren't serving their best that particular day. Cracker outshone them. So next, we're gonna go on to Glamazone, aka the Coco Montrese Resort.
Oh my God.
AKA the secretary is Gothy Kendall going, rah.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty.
Hi, welcome to Glamazone. I'm Gothy Kendall. Okay, how many are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. I can't pick up the phone. He's only calling because he's drunk and alone.
Oh, God, fucking hell.
Yeah, well, Coco Montrese comes downstairs going, grrr. Why could they bring them back for this episode? If they could bring Crystal to bloody Drag Race Canada, why could they have not brought Gothy Kendall and Coco Montrese just for this? I don't care. Just bring it back. So what did you think of Glam Zone, which of course had Juju, Alexis, and India?
Again, I mean, it was okay.
Only okay. Like, what stood out for you? What didn't stand out for you?
Like, I mean, India kind of brought it down, and like India wasn't her best, and in terms of just, like the season in general, I'm just pissed off at Alexis Mateo. So, but I mean, Juju. I mean, obviously Juju is always fabulous, and she did amazeballs this time, and I'm happy for her. So, props to Juju B.
Yeah, if she finally won a challenge.
Spoilers.
Well, it's not really spoilers. If we're already talking about the episode, they already knew. So we already know, like, she won. Like, want a carrot?
Sweet baby Jesus.
Want a carrot? I wish I had a bunch of carrots here, but no, I don't.
Plan town, Jesus.
Oh God,
Oh God, excuse me.
Then I'd be getting complaints about them not being organic.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Jack's. Also, this podcast is sponsored by Jack's Microphone, which is sponsoring this whole ASMR experience for you guys.
Totes.
It's called fashion. So
Something that you know nothing about.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
Yeah, my tone is pointed at tone. Haha.
Go back to Party City where you belong. So, of course, how I felt about this was I did like it. But Alexis and India, they kind of just faded into the background for me. They were kind of like, it was like, for example, how do I describe it? It was like this singer, it was like the background singer to Mariah Carey. During her heyday, not now, but during her heyday.
Oh my god. Yeah, I
Like
mean, I get that.
like Juju was giving me like if Coco Montrese and Juju were in this scene, I don't care. Juju just going around with that. Juju and Coco with that wig. Oh god, that would have been brilliant. Now, of course, we're going on to our last group. Now, this, of course, has Miss Blair St. Clair, and of course, Miss Lady May, aka Miss Mayhem Miller, who always, always, always walks into the club.
I was
So,
actually going through my phone today, and I came across the video, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake! I better not show him this."
I was at the video of literally Mayhem, in which I literally tried to find the song for literally 12 hours straight. Going,
Legit.
what is a song? I only know two words. So, okay, origin for this, the whole walk into the club thing for you guys, is there's a lot of different memes that we referenced over however many episodes we do this show, probably until eventually um one of us shoots the other. But yeah,
So,
walk into the
apologies,
club.
guys. This is our final episode. Bye bye.
Oh, 5 episodes, the fifth and final. Oh. More like 500. We'll be doing this in the 60s going, remember back in the day during Last of Us 2. It's Last of Us 5 now. That's 6 years times that.
Oh my god.
But yeah. So not so pretty much Walk into the Club originated because Miss Mayhem Miller was doing a show here in the George in Dublin with Angina. And of course she had this club, she had this song called Walk into the Club. Well, it wasn't called Walk into the Club, it was called something completely different. But all I heard was one lyric from that song, which is Walk into the Club. And literally I tracked that song down. Actually, did I forget what it was called? Oh no, no, I still know it now. I know it's a Brandy song. Um, but pretty much from that originated the walk into the club, and pretty much then I've been running with it from every single thing I've been doing. Try and find every time I mention walk into the club or walk into the club, take a drink.
Sweet baby Jesus. But yeah, back to the matter at hand. I
24
mean,
karat gold.
24 karat gold, definitely the best of the three teams. I mean, obviously, because the team won. But, I mean, I just thought the way how Blair and Mayhem like were going off each other was fabulous chemistry, and it definitely worked in terms of the challenge anyway.
It definitely stood out for me. Like it was like very much like Club 96, except it was kind of like to quote them, it was like a daddy rich kind of club. One of the like Blair looked like a member of the Hadid family, Gigi Hadid. Mayhem was giving me life with the whole kind of just she was just giving me life. It was very much like how I felt about Shay. Remember in season 9 they did that whole duos challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to that kind of feel. Very similar, and I loved
Yeah, I
every
get
minute
that.
of it.
Mm.
Mm. So of course, now we're gonna go on to our runway, which of course the runway song isn't the Babylon. It isn't Lady Gaga Babylon, the Club Aphrodite remix. I fell in love with that, but is of course this this one is 3-in-1 looks. Now, of course, we're gonna start off. What did we think of Miss Blair St. Clair?
Blair's looks were good.
Okay.
Blair's looks were good. I mean, you had two outfits that were sort of the same, and then one that was completely different, which
Mm.
I liked. I mean, at least you had one that was like a completely different outfit. And altogether, I really liked her runway. It was definitely one of my favorites of the episode.
What about Michelle? No, Michelle.
Alexis Michelle.
Come back, Alexis Michelle. I miss her.
Alexis Mateos was. It was okay.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like she was gotten Banshee hand me downs. I do love Alexis. I do feel like she's iconic, and she doesn't deserve the hate that she gets online. But I just felt this episode she just wasn't giving it to me. Like she wasn't making me gag. Um, but pretty much good overall. Like it
Mm.
was good, but not great. It was like on a normal season, it would stand out. On All Stars, in compared to your peers, it just kind of blended in. So
Yeah.
next, we're gonna go on about Craction. Of course, it's Miss Cracker with, of course, what came first? Um, Miss Cracker's rivalry with Aquaria, or the egg that she was doing in this episode.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. No, I mean her looks were fab as well.
I felt like it was so nice to see her without blonde hair because we know Cracker for blonde hair.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see her with a bit of different. It was giving me kind of Russian princess, Strictly Come Dancing, just madness. I lived for it. Like,
Yeah, it was definitely a good runway for her.
so of course, next was Mayhem, Miss Mayhem Bella.
Miss Mayhem Miller's runways were, again, they were okay. I mean, they were all sort of similar.
Mm. Like for me, it just felt like you could see what was coming next. That was
Hmm.
it. It was like, oh, you weren't like, oh my god, what's coming next? It wasn't like kind of like where you were like gagged with all the reveals.
Hmm.
It was kind of very much, and I felt like moving on to the next one. Of course, India for me was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like Mayhem killed it in the challenge, but she failed on the runway. And then, of course, India, she kind of just blended in the background for both, personally, for me.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, India was like a whole thing, and then okay, she rips off the jacket, and that's another look, and she rips off the skirt, and that's another look. I mean, no, you're just basically getting undressed. That's not different looks.
Ugh. And then, of course, like, I do agree, India kind of, it was a kind of like she's just come in from work and she's taken off the gi. She's like, oh God,
Mm.
get this off me now, get off. I have to go down and I have to sit down and literally just to to quote like Blair St. Clair in the in before she came into workroom in the first episode. I have to scratch my balls, love. I have to get all this stuff off, like.
Jesus Christ.
So of course next we have Mariah Paris Balenciaga.
Yes, we do. And I mean, Mariah was. Again, Mariah's run was okay.
Like for me, it was very ballroom-esque, which is very much what Mariah is known for.
Mm.
I've always loved Mariah, and I was waiting for her to finally come to All Stars. Like, and I feel like her journey so far has been quite good. Like, it's presented a lot of stuff that obviously show the world that she is a force to be reckoned with, but at the same time, she kind of faltered a bit, and that's understandable
Hmm.
when you
Yeah,
haven't been on the show for nearly 10 years. So,
yeah.
as we saw by Angina. And finally, well, we our final two now, of course, are Miss Shea Coulee.
Her runway was my favorite.
She's like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
Exactly. Like, I mean, her, it was so well thought out, I thought. And, like, I don't know how the judges didn't see it for what it was. They just thought, oh, it looks like a fucking kid's art project. I'm like,
Like,
no.
like I disagree with the judges. Like, it was conceptual, it was artistic, it was black excellence. I lived for it.
Mm.
Like, it was like what it was so different from what we've seen from Shea before. Like, obviously, we had the Lee Barry stuff she presented during season 9, but this is something different.
Hmm.
I lived for it, and it was a very iconic kind of look. She didn't deserve to be in the bottom three. Gonna be
No.
completely honest. And like the judges, I don't agree with what they said, but yes, did it look handmade? Yes, but drag is you start at home. Nothing's gonna be like some queens can't afford to do crazy looks, like
Hmm.
spending thousands of dollars on reveal looks.
Yeah.
Like Michelle Visage said to herself, "Honey, you don't need money to do drag. You need like just like pretty much your own gumption and skills, and you can get
Yeah.
there."
Exactly. So I don't
So,
get why she ended up in the bottom, but sure, look.
and then of course our final one, Miss Jujubee.
I love her runway. Her runway was really good.
Hmm. Like, want a carrot? Want a carrot? Now, of course, like for me as well, I felt Jujubee it kind of like, or her kind of last look was very Playboy bunny, and was kind of like, it was a hark back to kind of like, like pretty much when Jujubee was on her season, kind of I think the Playboy, Girls of Playboy Mansion was very popular at that time as well, so it was kind of like very kind of in that kind of zone. So I thought it was really good. Now, of course, we got our winner for the week, which was, of course, Miss Jujubee finally winning a challenge. And of course,
Yes.
she had to face her lip sync assassin, which was, of course, winner, well, co winner of All Stars 4, the original winner, um, which is rumored, alleged. Um, of course, which is Monet Exchange. Now, of course, what do you think having Monet Exchange back? How do you feel about it?
I was okay with my having Monet back. I mean, would I consider her a lip sync assassin? Yes. Would like she's fairly good lip sync artist. I mean, we've seen her now how many times?
Too many.
Twice.
Twice we've seen Monet. She
I
had
think
her show. Did we only see her once?
maybe it was once.
It was once. It was once. We hadn't seen her twice.
Oh no, wait! I've seen her twice. She met her once, but she was in Work the World as well that I went to. You didn't go, I don't think.
Ah, yes. Now Work the World
Yeah.
doesn't have any kind of things. Also, a kind of quote, just a little thing. Since we're talking about Work the World, all the girls so far have featured on Work the World, you know. This week the Work the World assassin.
True.
Like I will say it was exciting to see Monet back. I feel like with this lip sync, she put on one of her best performances since Pound the Alarm.
Yeah.
We all remember that lip sync of which of course this one she did, of course, one of my favorite artists of all times, which I fought for tickets and finally got to see her live front row, was of course Lizzo. Blame it on the juice. Yeah, yeah, E. Yeah, yeah, E. Yeah, yeah, E. Um, like I feel like Juju, she did the best option. She kind of threw the lip sync really because Juju's never lost a lip sync. So this kind of she won a challenge and she lost a lip sync. That's Juju's never
Yeah.
done the two. But of course she was up against fierce competition with Monet. So she
Yeah,
did pretty good.
exactly. So I mean, then based off that, you can obviously guess that Monet won the lip sync, meaning that she had to send home one of the three bottom queens, who ended up being Mariah,
Mariah,
Shea,
Paris,
and
Balenciaga.
India, wasn't it as well? India again.
India was in the bottom, yeah. It
Yeah,
was Shea, India,
Mariah, Shea.
Mariah. And of course, Mariah, my dears, went home, which is kind of sad.
Mm. I mean, it was kind of like the
But
same as Jujubee. Like we've been waiting for a while, and to see her like go home this soon is kind of. Eh.
it's a bit kind of down. But of course, we still have two gag-worthy moments this episode. Of course, Miss Alexis Mateo, keep saying
Mm,
Michelle nearly. And of course, Mayhem Miller didn't exactly vote with the rest of the team. They didn't vote for India and they didn't vote for Mariah. They, of course, voted for their competition, which was, of course, Shay. So, how do we feel about
exactly.
this?
I mean, you can see where they're coming from, I suppose. Like, they want to try get rid of the strongest competitor while they can.
Hmm.
But, I mean, most of them did play it by the actual challenge and vote for who did the worst.
Like overall, Mariah did was one like not the best in the challenge, and overall she was one of the weakest performers. Like I feel like it was her time to go, even though it was sad to see her go. And of course, next week's a bit. This week, obviously, well, it'll be tonight when this episode, when this episode is uploaded. Will be of course SheMZ, which is of course our improv challenge. So There's going to be a lot of gag-worthy moments and maybe a good lip sync assassin. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sure, we'll see. Anyway, I mean, for an what's the word? You just what's the word? For an improv challenge, who would be a good lip sync assassin?
Well, I'm thinking. Well, there is a few lip sync assassins which have been rumored for the season. Of course, we have Morgan McMichaels. I'm doing what she was doing in the background of the Kitty Girl video.
Sweet baby Jesus.
And of course, oh my god, I'm back! I'm back again! I swear I'm back again! Uh-huh! I'm back again! It's Miss Vanjie.
That was nothing like her.
That is Vanjie! Vanjie is literally Vanjie!
That
Vanjie!
sounded nothing like her.
That is Vanjie!
I
Vanjie
thought
is
you were
literally.
fucking
Who do you fucking think I was doing? That Albert!
like if
Hey,
I was
hey,
gonna say
hey!
any either Albert or fucking like a really drunk Latrice. I don't know.
The tree sounds nothing like that.
Well, Vanjie
But
sounds nothing like that.
Vanjie basically has the face of a woman and then the voice of a lawnmower.
Sweet baby
Ah,
Never do
Miss
that again, please God.
Vanjie. Miss Vanjie.
Okay, if y'all think that sounds like Miss Vanjie, push the like button.
Oh, honey, no one pushes Jack's buttons. Please do it. Correction. Of course. So, on to the final part of our Drag Race section of this, because we spent far too long on Drag Race, or far too long on my Vanjie impression. Of course, we're going to talk about our meh of the week. That is my attempt at a Mariah Carey voice. That's my meh of the week. So,
So, Tone, who was your meh of the week? By the way,
was
for
this
those
fun?
who don't remember what this is, we pick who didn't impress us in terms of the whole week, leaving out obviously who went home.
Yeah, so obviously with Meta of the Week as well, obviously when Drag Race ends, we'll just do it so it's something around that general week as well, or a television show or whatever it's kind of currently going on at that time.
Mhm.
For me, Meta of the Week was India. It's kind of just like from going up so high, she's kind of faltered and kind of started going down and down. So it's kind of like, oh, I expected more from you, honey bun.
Mhm.
I expected
Like
more from
Mayhem in
you.
season 10.
Mayhem is redeeming herself this season. I will say that.
Yeah, I'll give her that. Jack's meh of the week would be Alexis Mateo.
I thought
I
you were
would have
about
to
to say
say.
Alexis Michelle.
No.
We've all been saying
Alexis
that.
Mateo. No, I mean, this week I just was put off by her in terms of like her runway and just the way she's going on the episode as well. Like, no. Thank you
That's
next, but
that's like understandable. Obviously, Thank You Next would probably be a lip sync song for bloody season 13 at this rate.
okay, girls, when you're doing thank you next, you have to do it like our girl Victoria. So ready? And for that I say thank you next. Thank you next. Thank you next.
I was about to do the thing. Okay, can you do that again? I want to do something. So let's do the Thank You Next number again.
And for that I say thank you next. Thank you.
He's attacking me on the podcast from Tato Park.
Oh Jesus
Queen of
Christ.
Captivities. Um
Oh my god.
So now
Right.
we are going on to the section that Jack is most excited about because he gets to talk about, of course, Chromatica from the 19,000. No, no, it's LGBT representation in video games. So, of course, Jack, Take us away. Take us to Club Tropicana. It is free. Take us away.
Right. So basically, me and Tony were trying to come up with ideas for what to talk about after the All Stars review, and obviously at the moment I'm playing through The Last of Us Part 2, which came out last Friday. I had to have it from day one. Actually, funny story about that. Um, I pre-ordered it online on Smiths for it to
Mm-hmm.
come on the day release. Never did. And I was like, you
Oh.
fucking wanker. So I was like, okay, what do I do? So I walked from here to my house to Argos, which is about half an hour walk. I got the game, I came back, and then when the one from Smiths came in the door on Monday, I took it back to Smiths in Swords yesterday to get myself a refund. Because I had to have that fucking game on day one. I don't care.
Someone has actually already finished the game in Limerick because I was in CEX or SEX, KEX, whatever you want to call it. And Last of Us Part 2 Steelbox Edition is already there. Someone already played through the entire game.
Why are you returning it though? They don't like how it's like developing. But like so far I'd say I'm like kind like close enough to halfway through it maybe, and like I'm loving it so far. I mean, obviously a few bits that that have me upset, but I mean, I'm gonna try to talk about this without any spoilers. But anyway, I was playing through the game and I was like, okay, I need to talk about this on the podcast in some way, shape, or form. And Taryn's like, well, why don't we talk about LGBT representation in video games in general? I'm like, that's a good idea. So here we are. Tone came up with one good idea for once.
Oh, yay. My old age.
Fucking hell. So yeah, I mean, there's like over the years there's been plenty of representation of the LGBTQ plus community in the games, and of course, the one that I'm focusing on right now is Ellie in The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part Two. Um, for those of you who haven't played through the games, um, Ellie is gay. Um, we found this out back in a spin-off story of the original Last of Us, in which she kissed one of her friends towards the end of the story, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes!"
Is that
So
Riley
Ellie,
she kissed, wasn't it?
Riley, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, Ellie has been the queen of post-apocalyptic lesbians since 2014, and she still is to this day.
So, what do you think of the game so far, like in terms of gameplay and everything like that? We're just gonna quickly go over it since, of course, you're in love with the game currently.
I'm in love with the game currently. I mean, there's bits where it's your puzzles and then your stealth, and like it's basically everything I look for in a game, and it's on in one tight little band. But like it's definitely an emotional game. I mean, if you connect with the characters, like you'll connect with the game pretty hard, especially if you played the last one as well.
Like, I feel like that is similar to The Walking Dead, the Telltale games, because
Yes.
obviously they do have LGBT representation as well, but like there's tough moments in that. Like, this is not the well, it's kind of a spoiler alert in ways, where was it in Walking Dead where you have a dog and at the end that you have to shoot the dog?
The dog.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, there's something about a dog anyway. I remember one of my friends playing a video game. I think it was one of the Telltale games, and you have a dog that accompanies you during the game, and eventually the dog obviously gets a zombie thing. Of course, he's journeyed with you throughout the whole game, and of course, then you have to shoot the dog.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, but that's not what it was at all. There was a point in Walking Dead season 2 where you're fighting a dog, and then it like really um, whether it hurt itself and you have to decide whether to leave it or put out its
Oh,
misery, or
yes, that's it. Sorry, I'm confusing it with Fable. In my head, I'm mixing up the two games, Fable and like The Walking Dead. Obviously, Walking Dead. Obviously, you have to do that. Fable, you do have a dog that accompanies you during the entire game.
Mhm.
Sorry, my mind just went there. I was like, both fighting games in a way. So of course, we've talked about The Last of Us. Jack, is there any more you want to say about Ellie? Any other LGBT representation in, of course, The Last of Us you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, without spoiling it too much, I mean, I'm loving the relationship that Ellie and Dina have in the game so far. Like I said, I'm only about
Hmm.
like short of halfway through, I think, and I'm liking how their relationship's going, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Although,
Ooh.
knowing Naughty Dog, probably one of them's going to end up fucking dying, but sure, we'll see.
Find out next week's episode.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Ellie, queen of post-apocalyptic lesbians since 2014. She's still killing it. I'm loving the game, and I'm going to shut up before I just make the whole episode about the fucking Last of Us.
So obviously we're gonna be jumping back between each games that each of us have played. For me, it is of course my childhood classic that is of course Final Fantasy IX. Now of course you're thinking, Final Fantasy, does that really have any representation? Yes, it does. Of course it has, of course, Q. Q. So Q in, of course, Final Fantasy IX is a member of this genderless species. They're non-binary, but you kind of change their how they're pronounced during the obviously the game. They're pronounced she or he or they. So in the game, of course, they have a genderless expression. It's really good to kind of have those characters way back in the 90s and in, of
Mhm.
course, that kind of game. And practically Final Fantasy games, everyone's a little bit gay. It's Final
Mm.
Fantasy. Like, come on. Like, we had lightning going, ooh. And of course, in other games, of course, there is has been like trans characters where you're not sure are they trans or they're not trans. So, kind of growing up playing, of course, and seeing characters like Quay. Obviously, they're not human, but at the same time, having non-binary representation was really good. Kind of growing up because it kind of broke the binary in a way, especially in a JRPG in the 90s. So,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of Final Fantasy now, but like I said, it's definitely one of the most well-known video game franchises in the fucking world, and like I'm sure they've touched on all this, like you said, and I don't know, I might give it a go one day. Who knows?
it's all on the PlayStation Store. Well, 9
Mhm.
is anyway, and 7 remake, but which is apparently killing it, but or not killing it. I'm not sure. So
Like the Seven
one of us
remake
will eventually play it.
yeah, I mean, 7A is like action based what it is, like the turn based what it used to be. Like it's more hack and slash than like like the what I'd say like Pokemon style fucking you know what I mean. Choose what you
So
do and wait your turn.
so Jack's gonna talk about the next one. Now we've both played this. I only played the first season of it.
hmm
Now, Jack, of course it is. Well, technically, it's very kind of how would you describe right now? Life is strange in 2020, but also this video game as well. See, quick segue there. So Jack, do you want to talk about Life is Strange? But of course, of one of the characters I love in it is of course Finn McNamara.
Finn.
Finn, yeah, Finn's gay. Well, no, he's Pan. Sorry, Pan. He's Pan. He dates both.
So you've
He
played the
doesn't.
second one.
Have I played the second one? Oh yeah.
Finn from the second one, not the first one.
Oh, sorry, force of habit. I was like, I love Finn. Everyone's I probably don't remember the first one. It was ages back. All I remember is chasing around looking for fucking pictures, and I was like, I don't know, this game's a bit boring. I'm going over here.
Okay, so by the sounds of it, he has played both.
So do you so do you want to talk about Finn then, since you remember this game more than me, and all I remember is Finn being Pan.
Okay, so Wait, okay. So first off, before I say anything, have you played both of them fully through so that like I'm not spoiling anything if you want to go back on them?
I'm on Reddit. Everything's been spoiled for me already, including the ending
I
to 2020. Like, oh god, there's so much more to come. Oh.
oh god. Right. So I mean, Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, like they're both completely different games. They're not like related to each other. They're two separate stories. But in the
Mm,
first one, you play as a college student called Max. Wait, college, high school? I can't remember which one. It's either one. But like they go through a series of events with her friend called Chloe, and Chloe is, I think Chloe's gay. I think Chloe's like considered gay in the game. I can't remember 100%,
mm,
but um, like the kind of game plays out according to the choices of the player in the game. So I mean, there's romantic choices between Max and the male love interest in the game,
mm,
Warren, I think you called him. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Warren. But again, there's romantic relationship options with Chloe as well. So I mean, like I guess you consider Max to be bisexual or gay or straight or whatever, basically whatever you want to make her in terms of how you play the game. You know, a lot of games are like that nowadays, especially and again going into Life is Strange 2, you play as the character. I can't remember his name for the fucking life of me now, but again, like the choices you make in the game can like impact their personality, their sexuality, their gender identity. What like a lot of games are like that now, where your choices affect everything in the game.
Like, I do feel like a lot of games are like that. Like, obviously, there is a lot of games that obviously we're going to mention a kind of a buckload of them at the end, but we just wanted to focus on a few of them. Um, so obviously, talking about choices, the next game is a game that is close to my heart. Jack knows about it, and everyone who knows me knows about it. Of course, it is Animal Crossing. Now, you're probably thinking, what? So obviously, with Animal Crossing, you play as a villager. Now, of course, in New Horizons, of course, your villager doesn't have a preset gender. They're kind of genderless. Like, you can change. Like, everything is open to everybody. Um, and obviously, in that game as well, like way back, New Leaf, of course, we have the character of Isabel. Everyone knows Isabel. She's in, of course, Smash. There was a whole kind of thing when New Horizons was coming out that she's friends with the guy from Doom. We've all seen those videos. Doom Animal. Um, but yeah, so Ian, of course, New Leaf, during Valentine's Day, Isabel would reveal that she has a crush on the mayor. Now, the mayor is obviously your playable character, and that is either male or female or whatever. So, of course, with Isabel, she has a crush on you regardless. It's so good to kind of see a pan representation in a kind of game like Animal Crossing, where you're pretty much searching down peaches, the fruit, people, the fruit. I know where your minds go, especially you, Lavender. Um,
Oh my god.
Jesus, Lavender, the only top in the world, apparently. Um,
Sure.
sure, sure. Yeah, but of course, Animal Crossing, obviously, genderless characters, and of course, Isabella's Pan, and of course, they have wedding season this year, of course, Reese and Cyrus. So there's loads of different kind of things, and you can even do little ceremonies in, of course, New Horizons. We can do wedding ceremonies with any kind of characters you wish. So every kind of character's bi or whatever. So next, we're going to talk about a game that is everyone's freaking played these games. We're going to talk about two games, of course, now. Grand Theft Auto and of course Saints Row. So, Jack, what was your Grand Theft Auto game growing up?
All of them. Not gonna
Vice
lie,
City.
all of
Vice City.
them.
Grand Theft Auto 2.
Hmm. Two. I mean, I haven't even played two. Um, but I mean, everything from GTA onwards, I've played. Like GTA 3, GTA Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories. 4, 5. All the spin offs.
5 on PlayStation 5. 5 on PlayStation
Oh.
5.
Oh my god, don't get me started on that. Grand Theft Auto 5
That's
has
another
been on the
episode.
PS3, the PS4, and now it's coming to the PS5. I mean, just give us fucking GTA 6 already.
They will eventually. So, of course GTA, we've had several gay characters and of course genderqueer characters. We've had gay Tony,
In the Ballad of Gay
gay.
Tony, the GTA 4 spin off.
We've had Trevor, we've had Bernie, we've had Rennie, not your stomach, but of course Rennie, the genderqueer character that in one of the uh one of the of course missions you have to bring them for their sex change operation. Obviously gender transformation therapy. uh, Surgery. Um but yeah. So overall GTA there's a lot of it. Now, of
Yeah.
course, I haven't played much of Saints Row. Could you talk about representation in Saints Row?
I can indeed. I mean, it's not particularly touched on until Saints Row 4, I'd say, in terms of
Hmm.
like proper LGBT representation. Because I mean, in Saints Row 4, there is like, how do I explain it? It's the story is it's really hard to explain, but long story short, there's like a kind of lobby kind of place. It's a spaceship, but like you have all your different
Hmm.
crew members, and depending, not even depending, like even if your character is male or female, um, you can have like romantical encounters with any of your crew members. So I mean, whether you're a guy trying to flirt with Johnny or a girl trying to flirt with Kinsey, I mean, the world's your oyster, honey.
There's a like obviously Saints Row. I've seen it a lot. I probably will play it eventually because it keeps going on sale on the PlayStation Store, and it could be a free game on PlayStation Plus or PSN. Who knows? It probably is on PSN. Um, but yeah. So obviously the next game, of course, is something that has never come to PlayStation, to my knowledge. Of course, is the Fable series. Now, in the Fable
On
series,
Xbox.
have you played? Hey, also PC. Hmm.
PC.
Hey, PC gamer's a good bitch. So have you ever played Fable?
I have not. No, I've purely been PlayStation all my life. So I mean, I've been sticking with that. I haven't gone near Xbox or PC. So Fable is a stranger world to me.
So, like with Fable, of course, you play a hero, and with that hero, your appearance throughout the game depends on the decisions you make. You can either go for good or bad. Now, as the games progress, of course, your character's biased. They can marry anyone practically in the game, any of the non-playable characters, and you can have kids with them. You have your own house. You can cheat on your spouse, whatever. All loads of stuff in it. Um, but obviously with the games, that's kind of selling point. You're a hero, and you can make all these decisions. Of course, like in one of the games, of course, had Reefer, who's played by Stephen Fry, and he's like literally all sassy, going off with people, and he doesn't care. Like the
Mm,
third game was one of my favorites because you were kind of over a world, and this nothingness, this darkness was coming into the world. And as you played the game, the room would start black slime would start dripping from the walls and covering the map, and you had to face the nothing. It was very kind of complex game as you went along. Like it was
yeah,
very easy to breeze it through, but like it was a good game overall. And any game with Stephen Fry is pretty much that for me.
yeah.
So overall, it was good. I played all three of them. Like I practically was an Xbox kind of kid for a while, but I'll always go back to PlayStation. Um, yeah, Jack's tongue out there hanging more than any other bottoms in the South Dublin area. Um, oh Jesus. Actually, speaking of that kind of fucking yourselves. Here's The Sims.
Wait, what?
Hey, in The Sims, you can literally just make a clone of yourself in the
Oh
game
God.
and sleep with yourself. So fuck yourself. Yeah, you could in Sims if you wanted to. Marry your brother, marry your sister, marry everybody.
Oh my God.
So we're of course we're talking about, of course, EA Games, aka Challenge Everything. If you've ever played EA,
Oh
challenge
my.
everything. Of course, with The Sims, no matter what it is, your character is pansexual. Really much, you will basically go with someone based on their personality. You can have kids if you are male presenting or female presenting. Of course, you can marry if you're older, younger, alien, mermaid, vampire, magician. It is
That's if
a
you're willing to
very
pay for the DLCs.
sometimes there's a sale on, you get them for free, but don't buy them on console. It's better on PC.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it is like it's kind of better on I tried playing it on PlayStation a few times, and the only one I ever played on PlayStation was Herbs Sims in the City with its soundtrack from Black Eyed Peas, where Will I Am as a character. You're like,
Jesus
what
Christ.
is this? It's like there's a lot of crazy stuff you do in that game actually that is not able to do now. Like they did this whole thing where you literally are skinning minks, and it's like, what the hell is this game?
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
So of course there are tons of other games we didn't focus. Now, Jack, actually, I didn't get your viewpoint. What did you think of Sims overall? Like, what do you think of Sims as kind of in terms of representation? Before I reel off the list of everything else that we got off Wikipedia. Okay, we got off Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, like Sims. Like I've played Sims 3, I've played Sims 4, I've touched on Sims 2. But I mean, it's great the way it's like, it's basically a life simulation. Do whatever the fuck you want, marry whoever the fuck you want. Like, have kids, adopt, get a job. You can do whatever you want, and it's great to see the way that you're able to like do whatever. Whether you want to, you're a guy, want to marry a guy, a girl, want to marry a girl, guy, want to marry a girl, and I have they touched on trans and non-binary yet? I don't know. I think they did in Sims 4, but I can't remember
I
off the
think
top of my
so in
head.
Sims 4. Now, obviously, I did forget to mention one game here, which is the least likely game to ever feature representation.
Hold on.
Super
I want to see if you can guess. Hold on. Do.
Mario! Mario! It's Mario! Oh, Princess Peach! Mario! Um,
Sweet baby Jesus.
Justice for Daisy! That bitch has not been in enough games. She's Luigi's side girl at this rate, girl. King Boo has featured. I was playing Luigi's Mansion 3 and Daisy's into it. Daisy's just there, homegirl. Well, I get to all have the fun being kidnapped by literal ghosts. What am I doing? Watching Netflix.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The
But
dog
yeah,
gets
I
more attention than
mean.
me. But yeah, but yeah, of course, in Mario, there's a character called Birdo. Now, Birdo, if you read the actual manuals for the book, either in English or Japanese, Birdo is a trans person who is stuck in the body of their birth gender, and of course, they're constantly referencing themselves as she in the game as their true gender, and it's kind of the least likely game you'll see a representation of. But it's just so out there you wouldn't even guess it. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, hold on. See if I can find the statement thing that it said in the books. I think I can't even remember what book it was. I think it was like Mario Strikers Football, maybe. Can't remember. But yeah, Birdo. known in Japanese as Catherine, fictional character in the Mario franchise. Her first appearance was in Super Mario blah blah blah, recurring in spin-offs, depicted as an attack. Oh, I didn't know that.
She's in a relationship with Yoshi. Yoshi. Um,
Ah,
Yoshi. Sorry, I played too much of these games. Like Mario,
mm.
Luigi, oh Luigi. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
okay. I can't find the actual statement that was in the books there, but yeah, I mean, Berto's
Captain
trans.
Rainbow. Captain Rainbow was a game that kind of explored her gender a
Yeah.
bit more. So, Jack, are you ready for the list of video games that we did not mention or did mention?
Go on, Toad. Why the fuck not?
So, of course, we had We Happy Few, which of course has Roger and James. We had the Assassin's Creed series, which has so much representation. Borderlands. Need we say more about Borderlands 2? Of course, we had Dragon Age. We had Drakengard, which of course has Canny, which I mispronounced her name, but of course they are intersex. The Fable series, Fallout, Final Fantasy series, Grand Theft Auto, Last of Us, Life is Strange, Super Mario, Marvel X-Men, which of course North Star and Wiccan, which of course got married in the comic books. We of course had Animal Crossing, Mass Effect, Persona, Metal Gear Solid, which of course had Vamp, Scott, and Doctor Strangelove,
Oh,
Saints
yeah.
Row, Sims. We had Bioshock, which had of course Sasher Cohen, which was the creation of course Red Dem, which we had Montemayor and Vincente de Santa Decente, of course Skyrim and Oblivion,
Gosh.
which shout out to Vicky, Queen of Skyrim. um Pretty much everyone's buying Skyrim. Witcher, of course, which had Siri. Not of course the iPhone thing, but it's spelled with a C, not an S, just before people correct me. Of course, Overwatch with Tracer. And of course Stardew Valley, which I have no patience for because Animal Crossing's better. But shout out to those who love Stardew. So that's pretty much all the
Jesus.
video games so far that we've played. There's probably tons more. There's kind of lesbian
Mhm.
subtext in Bayonetta. If you've played Bayonetta, that bitch is my bitch. I love for her. Drag inspiration right there, Bayonetta. Um, but yeah. So that's pretty much all the kind of topics about LGBT representation, All Stars 5. So bring us into our last part of the episode, Jack.
So, our last part of the episode, which is a recurring segment on our podcast, is Tone. What's our song of the week?
Oh, girl, my song of the week this week is from 2008. It's by Swedish singer Agnes. Now, nobody probably, it was like number 10 in the charts here ages back. But
Mhm.
the whole song is Release Me. So it's just going, Release me, release my body. What I loved about the song, of course, the video was off the wall, but she recorded two versions. Of course, a US version and the English speaking version. And why I love the US version and, of course, the European version. In the US version, she starts off in the studio, then walks out of the studio and walks into clubs. And just keeps walking into clubs and walks into clubs. And in the Euro version, he's walking into nightclubs. And of course, my other song, because I have two, my
Oh.
second song for the week, of course, is Alaska Thunderfucks Walk into the Club. You know, you walk into the club, walk into the club, you're gonna walk into the club, and then we'll walk into the club. So that's my songs for the week. Now, Jack, give us our song for the week that was your choice before we reveal our next special guest. I feel we're losing more hope by the minute.
um, but yeah, my song of the week is revolving again around The Last of Us Part 2. There's a scene in the game. Um, keep in mind, this is an optional scene now where if you look over it, you won't get to go back in it. So I love exploring these kind of games, and there was a bit where Ellie and Dina are in a music shop. By the way, this is like a no spoiler thing, I hope, but like it's nothing to do with the main story. Um, but they're in a music shop, and then Ellie finds a guitar, and then she starts playing "Take on Me" by Aha, like a really acoustic, nice version. I'm like, oh, and I was living for. I was like, legit, like when I was playing for the first time, I started crying. And of course, me being me, I was like, I have to cover that. So there's a cover of me doing that exact version of that "Take on Me" Aha on my Instagram. So go take a look. Links in the description.
Mm. Actually, since we're in a certain season of the year, actually, when is that your birthday? Obviously our listeners want to know.
I mean, it's not for another, what, 4 weeks? I
Hey,
think 3, 4 weeks. So we have another while to worry about that.
but obviously that episode will be focused on Jack's birthday, so we'll be talking about Jack's favorite things to talk about. Hopefully it's not Chromatica for the 19th time this year.
I haven't touched on Chromatica once this episode.
Just just there you mentioned Chromatica. Ah!
Because you did!
Just because I would jump off a cliff doesn't mean you have to. Okay. So that episode will be focused on Jack's birthday. We've got plenty others. But before we reveal our second guest, of course, we want to say once again, because even though we may not be together in person, everyone out there in the community, we want to wish you a
Pride, bitches.
happy Pride. Be the queen you want to be. Wear a crown. Get drunk. Get shit faced in your back garden, and do a
Yes.
number like everyone else does to Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston because it's
Yeah,
Pride.
exactly. I
Just the
mean, there's plenty of stuff to do still, even though there's not the parade. I mean, this episode goes out on a Friday, and so that means tomorrow is Saturday. We'll have Nikki Stone's Blacklight Pride online show. So that's going to be fab. And then Sunday will be the Dublin Digital Pride Parade. So we're buzzing
mm.
for that. I have this weekend off, so I'll be enjoying that with a couple of drinks myself.
There's like plenty to like enjoy and dissect and whatever. And pretty much we just want to say just enjoy yourselves. And what I would do is pretty much if you live in an area where there's high crime, just perform Get the Fuck Out by Mariah Carey. And if you see someone jump over your gate, just start performing Get the Fuck Out by Mariah Carey. Go, how about you get the fuck out? Mm. A robber would just look at you going, this one's mad, I'm gonna run.
Bye bye.
And I think that pretty much sums up our episode, Jack, so far, anyway. Do you want to reveal our secret guest for our next episode? Or are you going to leave them hanging? Please give them a little bit of hope. Give them a little bit of hope. They have no hope, you know? Nah,
Okay.
hope in the world.
Sweet baby Jesus. So yeah, our next special guest is my partner in drag crime. She is one of my best friends in the entire fucking world. You might know her from running a little show called I'm Baby, hosting and running it. I help her run it as well. So, I mean, most of you probably know me from there. So, but yeah, time to reveal who our special guest is. So, drum roll, please.
Why are you all gagging?
Yes, bitches. Our special guest is Miss Nara Hope.
Oh God, we're all doomed.
Yes, we are.
Mostly Jack though. Mostly Jack. Mostly Jack
Mostly
though.
me.
Well, we say that. We say that now. Just wait till the episode.
Yeah, true. I mean, Nara can be shady when she wants to, but she's lovely. I mean, hopefully I'll get to know her more than what you already do. More like I do. So that'll be a fun episode next week, and that'll come to you next Friday. So I think this is gonna wrap it up for this week, Town.
Aw, thank you for spending time with us again, our little
And now I'm deaf.
Thank you, our little beheads. Thank you again. I think my everyone else in my house is scared of me to knock on my door and say, "Is everything okay?" Little beheads. So thank you again for
Exactly.
listening to us and supporting us. Yes, it is this terrifying feels for us to put these up, but again, we like sharing our shadiness every week towards each other. So one last time, Jack is a bottom. I love coffee. Um, Anybody for Tic Tacs, better walk into the club when those restrictions are over. Um, Jack mentions about Chromatica. I don't know. He likes 911. Chromatica 2 into 911.
We just need to hear when that fucking contest is going to be rescheduled.
See, he mentioned Chromatica there. That's the Chromatica ball. Drink, drink, drink. Now it's Friday night. Get shit face loves. Happy Pride. Yeah. What do you
Yes.
gotta say?
Just want to say again, thanks to everyone for watching. Happy Pride. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, follow our Instagrams, everything down below in the link tree that's scrolling across the screen right now. What's called? There's our Instagram, there's our Spotify for the sound, there's the YouTube channel. Well, you're watching on the YouTube channel now, so we have our own personal
Ooh.
Instagrams in there as well. So make sure you follow us because
And
if you do, who knows what might happen in the future.
also, if you're on, this isn't a bell, but I'm just going to use it as representation. Down there, there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Now, if you want to be notified of all our future uploads, just press it and select all. And then it'll just like every time we upload, it'll tell you.
Sweet baby Jesus.
That's what most people say about me.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's all, guys, for this episode.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks again, guys, and we shall see you next week with special guest Nara Hope.
We're all scared.
Yes, we are.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.